Hello and welcome back to Hindustan Astrology. I'm Katya, and in today's video we're going to discuss the March 2023 Vedic Sidereal Forecast. Now this month of March is going to be quite a turnaround. We have a couple things happening that are going to bring out a very intense response from people. A couple different ways could happen, things are getting supercharged again, right? We had a really wonderful February, but there are points that are getting activated in everybody's chart concerning Mars going into Gemini again. Now, Mars has been retrograde since, I believe, last November. And so now he's been direct since January and will re-enter Gemini. So for the United States chart, that happens in the 7th house, which could bring some more, anger from our opponents. This could bring, some tense situations, bring things to a head. And we also have a Rahu and Venus conjunction, which usually brings out the unusual in all things Venusian, such as love, romance, arts. And so it's going to be a very interesting month. And here in Indiana, we had this intense windstorm that happened like just the day before March 1st. Everything was just shook up. There were reports of, tornadoes and things. And they say March either comes in like a lamb or a lion, and then either leaves like a lamb or a lion. So it's interesting that the windstorm happened like right before March, because on March 1st, everything was calm. And so I feel like that's kind of the energy of this month. Things are going to be either all go ahead forward, or things are going to be kind of pulled back. So let's take a look without further ado at the transits for this month. Okay, so here we have all the transits for this month. And I am really sorry I'm recording this late. I was actually working on publishing my book. And things just kind of, time got away from me. Oh, and my computer died too, so that did not help. So today is March 2nd, and this morning at 12:35 a.m. EST, we had the Jupiter-Venus conjunction at 18 degrees of Pisces, Revati Nakshatra, and it was at conjunct Venus's exaltation point of 15 degrees. So Jupiter in his own sign of Pisces, Venus at her exact exaltation point, because a conjunction is, within 3 degrees, right? It's just really beautiful. I myself was very inspired, and that's why I was working on my book. Music can be inspired, anything of the arts, and also law can be considered an art, really, because it's, following the law obviously is a part of law, but there is an art to the law. There's a nuance that lawyers have. And it's very interesting that this Murdoch trial is coming to a close just as Jupiter and Venus are conjunct. Then we have on March 7th, our full moon of March, which is at 22 degrees of Leo, Purva Falguni, which is the Party Nakshatra. And so we see moon down here, and sun is up here, conjunct Mercury and Saturn. Finally, sun is moving away from Saturn. It was pretty intense there when they were together. Things just seemed very difficult to get accomplished at that time. So yeah, what will this be like? Well, for the United States, our ascendant is Sagittarius, and that means that the moon will be in the 9th house of law. Um, Gosh, we still have yet to see how all of the states are going to handle this Roe v. Wade turnaround. Anytime I see a nakshatra that's ruled by Venus, like Purva Falguni, I automatically think of women. And in the 9th house of law, I can't help but wonder, how things are turning out for each state at this time. So pay attention to your local news. I think you'll hear something. But still, Mars is still in Taurus at this time, which is ruled by Venus. And Ketu is still in Libra, ruled by Venus. So yeah, I feel like, this could be, I feel like February was such a good month for getting things accomplished. This very well could be the time to, really feel good about those accomplishments. I mean, we need that right now, right? All of this good stuff is in our 4th house of the homeland for the United States. And I feel like, it's the first house for the full moon of that day, right? So we could be having some really good things coming to us. The economy could be improving. Venus is in her house where she has Digbala. That's excellent. Jupiter is in his own sign still. I feel like we could get some more hope and inspiration out of this full moon. So I feel good about it. Then March 11th, 9:57 p.m. EST, we have Venus entering Aries. So Venus will go from here to here, which will make her conjunct Rahu and Uranus. And that's always kind of a tenuous time for Venus, right? Because these are two malefics, and here she comes, and things can get kind of wild. But, who's going to follow her? Jupiter. And for the United States, this is the 5th house of speculations, like the stock market and cryptocurrency. I think this is the rally before April when Jupiter goes into Aries, because I really think that cryptocurrency and the economy are going to improve once Jupiter goes into Aries. So this is kind of a foreshadowing. And then the next day we have Mars re-entering Gemini. So there will be more focus on communications. Even writing could get more focused, and you could finally get your assignments done if you're a student, that kind of thing. March 14th, 9:04 p.m. EST, we have the Sun entering Pisces. And this is the start of this buildup that's going to be at the new moon. March 16th at 1:18 a.m. EST, we have Mercury entering Pisces, and he's debilitated here. So what is Mercury debilitated in Pisces? Well, Mercury is the planet of communication, media, thinking things through. And when he's in Pisces, he gets kind of foggy. He gets kind of like, out of it a little bit. But when he goes here, Jupiter will be there in his own sign, and that is a Nichabanga Raja Yoga. And for the United States, it's in the 4th house, which is a Kendra. And Moon is there too. So usually for Saraswati Yoga, you need to have Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury all in the same sign. But having Moon there, that's not a bad substitute for Venus. So this will still have that feeling of that Saraswati Yoga, which brings, great inspiration for art, for writing, for music, for philosophy and law, and all of those things that represent higher education and higher learning, which is Saraswati. So I feel like this new moon is going to be really beautiful. But here it starts with the sun entering Pisces, right? And then Mercury entering Pisces. And then on March 20th at 10:18 a.m. EST, we have the Rahu-Venus conjunction at 10 degrees of Aries Ashwini. So these two will come together. And what is that? Well, Rahu is things that are unconventional. He represents foreigners. And then we have Venus, who is love and relationships and the arts, Tantra even. And so, on a personal level, having Rahu and Venus together is a sign to try something different. Just don't do the usual thing, because Uranus is there too. He's not exactly conjunct, but he's influencing it. So that's really putting an emphasis on the unusual, the otherworldly. And we know, there's been all this talk in the news about, these weather balloons. Are they weather balloons? Are they, what's happening with ET craft all around the world? I wouldn't be surprised at this time if we hear something concerning communications, possibly we've had that have been, lied about. So, yeah, it should be real interesting, because Ashwini is the pioneer, right? Who more is a pioneer than an astronaut? Somebody goes to a different world or different time and space continuum. So it should get interesting about this time. And then we have our new moon, where we have Jupiter, Moon, Sun, Mercury, and Neptune all conjunct in Pisces. Moon is close to the fixed star sheet, which is at 4.57 degrees of Pisces. And you see Moon is at 6 degrees 38 minutes. And the fixed star sheet causes extreme misfortune, murder, suicide, and drowning, but is the star of literary and poetic ability, but also implies extreme loss and sorrow, foreshadowing of what's to come with Rahu and Pisces this November. So pay attention what's going on around you and the news around March 21st, because I feel like Pisces is a very spiritual sign, but it is spiritual because it's gone through the dark night of the soul. Markab, which is at like 29 degrees of Aquarius, and then Sheet at 4.5 degrees of Pisces. When planets go over this, they experience great loss and sorrow, but what happens after is this overview effect, right? It's the feeling of the release after great pain, right? And so that's why Pisces is spiritual. It's not because they're just out there. No, it's because they've been through it. They've been through some of the most difficult things, and that is what has made them spiritual. So, this month may bring some more heartache. I hate to say it. I mean, we've already been through so many mass shootings and the war and all of this stuff, but I think things are going to come to a head and then come to an eventual release. So just pay attention to what's around you at this time. Don't just walk around down the street with, looking at your phone, that kind of thing. Like, pay attention, because this is intense. Okay. And then we have March 28th at 2:58 a.m. EST, Jupiter Mercury conjunction at 24 degrees of Pisces Revati. And again, this is a Nichabanga Raja Yoga. Jupiter's in his own sign, Mercury's debilitated. So this is a great opportunity for songwriting and music and books and all these, wonderful downloads that we get from other dimensions. This is really what's going to be happening at this time. And then March 31st at 5:25 a.m. EST, we have Mercury entering Aries. So Mercury will be stepping away from Jupiter, and he won't be debilitated anymore. So feel like this is going to be, an intense month. The winds that we're heralding this month are really showing the winds of change, and how we're just continually moving towards better things. And I feel like there's so much around us that is trying to tell us that things are getting worse, that there's no hope or whatever. And I just have to say, I'm sorry, I don't believe that. I think that all of these planets passing through the fixed star sheet is what's giving us that feeling. But in November, we're going to be switching from, Rahu in Aries to Rahu in Pisces. So this is kind of a foreshadowing of that clearing off, right? That clearing off of the plate, so that we can herald in a new time. So don't lose hope. I want you to really, the Pisces new moon is the moon that the chart that we use for the next year, right? So in Vedic Sidereal Astrology, the Pisces new moon is all about how we view the year ahead. And what you do is you will change the location. Like, for instance, I have it set at Washington, D.C., because that will tell us what's going on for the whole year ahead, right? For the United States. But if you lived in the UK, you would use London. If you lived in Tokyo or Japan, you would use Tokyo as the location. And that's going to tell you what's going on for the year ahead for the United States. So, we know that we have all of these planets in Pisces, and that's the fourth house of the homeland. So this year is going to be intensely transformational. There's a lot of things that we need to get cleared off. Things that need to be rectified, laws that need to be rectified. So just pay attention to what's happening around you at this time. And I send you all the love and blessings to you and your family. I hope that you can hang on tight this month and keep hold of your vision and your dream for what you want for the future, because we are always being tested, right? It doesn't mean that we're not going to be achieving our goals, but we're always being tested. So this is a month to really have faith and put one foot in front of the other. So with that, I want to say thank you very much. And if you're interested in a reading with me, go to HindustanAstrology.com and you will see the consultations tab at the top of the page. And as well, follow me on TikTok, and I do special videos there that are just for TikTok. I really don't post them anywhere else. And of course, I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well. So I hope to see you around, and have a blessed month. Namaste.